Hi everyone, so today's tutorial is just going to be a kind of like breakdown review and my opinion on the new Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar by Too Faced. And this is kind of comparing it to my other makeup palettes as well as the first chocolate bar palette, which you all know I absolutely love. It is one of my favorite palettes to use. I actually used it today on my eyes and I just adore that palette, reach for it all the time. So with kind of taking that into consideration, I am going to move forward and tell you guys a review about the new Semi-Sweet palette and if I think it is as good as the first one. So the Semi-Sweet palette comes in the traditional case like the previous chocolate bar palette came in. This time it is a little bit more of a slimmed down version of that gorgeous kind of tin can with a little bit different coloring, and on the inside it actually has the letters, or actually not letters, but the words of each name written on the packaging, which is really, really great. This kind of has a similar feel to the first one, and I feel like it is filled with warm and cool shadows. I wish that it had a little bit more cool shadows since the first one was pretty warm. On the top, this one has a great black with a few beautiful kind of neutral shades that are good for creases. In the middle, it has kind of an array of different shades. And then on the bottom is a really gorgeous kind of natural type of shadows. In this particular palette, I'm just going to kind of give it away. It is not what you would expect from the first one. The shadows themselves in the palette, everything about the packaging and the presentation is utterly gorgeous. Exactly what I would expect from Too Faced because they get cute on the money. But unfortunately for me, being someone who has a collection of palettes and who really likes eyeshadow palettes, like I really love my shadows in a palette form because other than like the MAC and the Makeup Geek shadows, I don't really like to get single ones unless I can put them into a Z palette. So for me, palettes are like a huge thing, especially because I use them on clients. At the salon, at weddings, at photo shoots, things like that. So I really want a palette to do work because I don't have a lot of room to just haul around every single palette that I think is adorable. So for me, this palette, the overall presentation, gorgeous, like 10 out of 10, spot on, so perfect, especially now that they have the actual names of each shade on the actual packaging. It's not like a little slip that comes in and out on a clear, it was like a clear little slip that went on the inside of the previous palette, and that was the only thing I could say negative about the like regular chocolate bar palette. But in this one, the actual formulas of the shadow are where my problem lies. I took a quick like video swatch to show you guys because I actually don't have this palette anymore. I'll tell you why in a second, but I wanted to share with you guys like the comparison between my La.LaRocque palettes, which are my favorite by far. I wanted to show you the pigmentation that I expect from a shadow compared to this one. You can see the shadow that I picked is not what you would expect in comparison to what one of my favorite shadows. And not because the La.LaRocque is like a special like formula or whatever, it's just their regular palettes. And you don't really get a lot of color payoff from the Too Faced Semi-Sweet bar or chocolate bar palette. The pigmentation is lacking seriously. I took a bunch of swatches and I swatched every single shade for you guys. This is on my inner arm, no primer or anything on there. Like, and I actually like dug my finger into it. You can see it in that one video clip that I like kind of swatch it for you to show you. Like I'm not like just going like this and being like, oh, it doesn't really come off. I was actually digging into the pan and then trying to wipe it onto my arm with really sad results. So for me, unfortunately, only about 3 of the shadows out of this palette were really amazing to me. I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and the ones that stood out to me is the frosting and the rum raisin, and then I think, yeah, the caramel. Those colors were really, really beautiful. They swatched beautifully. They went onto the eyes beautifully. But for everything else, especially the blue, like blueberry swirl or whatever that one is, and pink sugar. Pink sugar is not a shadow. It's just like a little shimmer that you can put on top of other ones. It's like, what am I paying $40 or $50 for this palette? And I'm like, I don't really see a lot. So for me, I'm just going to say this was a complete thumbs down. I returned it to Sephora because I felt like my money was completely wasted. I wasn't going to keep a palette that literally I only liked a few shades. I'd rather just use my other palettes that have pretty similar shades that do a better job. So my opinion, this palette is not for me. I would not recommend it to anyone. I would tell you to return it, to not buy it. However, the first chocolate bar palette, the formulation in that is so amazing, so incredible. If you have already purchased the Too Faced from either like Sephora or Ulta, which are good places to purchase things that you want to try out, because if you don't like it, you can bring it back. So I purchased mine from Sephora and I was just easily able to return it, no problems or questions asked. And a lot of the girls, they were asking me about it. They're like, why are you returning it? This is like brand new and it's sold out and everyone like wants it. And I'm like, no, it's got no pigmentation. It's awful. So that is my few thoughts. I'm not even gonna like rant and go on about it because I already said what I need to say, and the fact that the shadows are not pigmented and I could get like a $5 shadow compared to these shadows, you know. I hope this wasn't too like rambly on-y, but when I don't like something, there's not really a lot to say. So what I expect from a palette is not what I found in this one, unfortunately, but I highly recommend the regular chocolate bar palette by Too Faced. I hope that you guys enjoy this. I do not like bashing products by any means. You guys know that I really don't talk, like I don't do product reviews that often, just on single things. But when I find something that I just really am like, ooh, no, this is what I'm going to let you guys know. And if you guys have kind of felt a little bit differently, don't be afraid to share your feelings down below, because I know a lot of people love to read the comments and stuff to kind of get an idea maybe about using it a different way. So let me know how you feel about the Semi-Sweet palette if you have purchased it yourself. Did you return it or are you keeping it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!